Hello, and thank you for having us speak here today. My name is Tamara Filyavich, and I'm the Membership Engagement Coordinator for Independent Jewish Voices Canada, or IJV, joining you from the unceded territory of the Anishinaabe Algonquin Nation. IJV is a grassroots group of Jews and supporters across Canada who oppose Israeli occupation and apartheid, standing for the rights of the Palestinian people with over 24 chapters nationwide. We also stand against Islamophobia, anti-Palestinian racism, and anti-Semitism at home. We urge Canadian government to stop its complicity in genocide by halting all military goods to and from Israel and implementing an arms embargo. Without weapons from Canada, the US, and Europe, Israel could not continue its violence in Gaza. Resisting to the ongoing genocide of Palestinian people and solidarity with all resistors everywhere is what brings us here today. The Filyavich tour that we are presenting is stopping in 13 cities across Canada this month. Einat, Gerlitz, and Mitnick, who are with us today, refuse to serve in the Israeli military. They are key figures in the growing movement among Israeli youth, challenging the occupation and advocating for Palestinian liberation. Both have faced consequences for their stand, spending time in Israeli military prisons. The tour is organized in collaboration with the Mesarvot Network, an Israeli initiative that empowers youth to refuse mandatory military service, raising their voices against Israel's occupation and war crimes. The Mesarvot Network works hard to build solidarity with Palestinian and global resistance movements, creating a united front against oppression. Einat refused her service and spent 87 days in Israeli military prison. Her courage inspired Tal, who also refused service after October 7, 2023, resulting in 185 days in prison. IJV is honored to amplify their voices and those of many others like them. What follows are the words of one of our community leaders, which I echo wholeheartedly. For Jews, resisting is recognizing that Israeli genocide of the Palestinians was born from a European colonialist project to get rid of its Jews. Resisting means understanding that fighting against all forms of racism, anti-Palestinian, anti-Indigenous, Islamophobia, and anti-Semitism is one and the same struggle. Resisting is also about listening and supporting dissenting voices from a dominant group who refuse to be complicit. Resisting involves gaining knowledge and rejecting the excuse of, I didn't know or I didn't understand. Resisting is about daring to unite, and that's why we're here. Thank you.
Thank you, Tamara. Hi, I'm Einat Gerlitz. I'm 21 years old. On September 4th, 2022, I refused to enlist in the Israeli military. I was sentenced to a total of 87 days in the Israeli military prison. I refused because I could not draft to the military that oppresses my Palestinian friends. I could not draft to the system that takes away the freedom of one people for the supposed security of the other. I refused to take part in the occupation of the Palestinian people. When I refused, I had no clue how far this mechanism of oppression is going to go. In the past 521 days, we are witnessing new levels of violence, political persecution, and raging fascism. We are not staying silent. We are continuing to fight on the streets for an end to the genocide and for a return of the hostages. We came here today to Ottawa, the capital of Canada, to bring up our voice, the voice of the youth that is resisting the Israeli war machine. We are refusing to be complicit with a narrative of Jewish supremacy. We strive to inherently change the existing power dynamics and create an alternative of co-resistance of Palestinians and Israeli activists, like in Masafiriata, in the South Hebron Hills in the West Bank. As many of you have seen in the Oscar-winning film No Other Land, the brave partnership between Palestinians and Israelis under the ongoing occupation, forced displacement, and ethnic cleansing is our hope. As conscientious objectors, we are taking responsibility for the society we live in. We refuse to be complicit. We are saying not in our name. On March 19th, our friend and comrade Ella Kedar Greenberg will refuse enlistment. She will bravely stand up as a trans woman who refuses to be part of the oppressive systems that oppress all of us, fighting for freedom and for freedom for everyone between the river and the sea. She will be imprisoned, and we do not know in what conditions, and we ask for your solidarity and support in her refusal. I'd like to finish with a quote of Sylvia Rivera. I am not free while any woman is unfree, even when her shackles are very different than my own. I am not free while any queer person is unfree, even when their shackles are different than my own. We are all in this together. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tal Mitnick. Yesterday, the Israeli Minister of Energy, Eli Cohen, shut off electricity to the Gaza Strip. I want to ask you, is this what a ceasefire looks like? Is this what bringing them home looks like? On October 7th, Israeli society suffered a trauma that ran through the whole country. There is not one person who isn't affected by this. Killing and kidnapping civilians is never justified. What came after that is the Israeli government, the same one that shut off the energy yesterday, and the Israeli public turned to revenge. There's no other way to describe what is happening. This is a genocide. Every young Israeli, since the establishment of the state in 1948, has had to enlist in the military, has had to fight in its endless wars. My enlistment was supposed to be at the end of December 2023. From before this war, I knew I did not want to join a military that enacts a violent occupation, siege, and ethnic cleansing. And some people asked me, well, didn't October 7th change your opinion? Don't you think we need a strong military to protect us? And to that I answer, no. October 7th not only did not change my opinion, it only strengthened it. It is proof that occupation, siege, it only brings us resistance. And we need to take the pain and suffering from this traumatic event and turn it into peace. But I'm not talking about head in the clouds, live together kind of peace. I'm talking about a real, just, lasting peace that will bring an end to the genocide, to the occupation, and hold those accountable for the crimes, those who are responsible for these crimes accountable, and move towards forward and heal the land from the scars of military checkpoints and bombs. I was sent to military prison for 185 days for daring to question enlistment, for daring to critique the systems that exist in our land today. We come here today to say, just as we won't be complicit, you too, the Canadian government and people, should not be complicit in this genocide. Our security and safety has been the supposed priority of this war. The military that claims to protect us enacts policies of the regime that lives off war, lives off death. Do not sell arms to our government. Put your foot down or elbows up and do not take part. Thank you.
Thank you. This concludes the press conference. Merci. C'est ce qui conclut la conférence.
Merci.
Thank you.